Hey guys, it's Jack from Krabs Collectibles here, and we have a very exciting week to talk about. I'm a day late. I helped someone move over the weekend, so I was a little bit caught up, and I was going to film a video last night, but I was just so out of energy that I thought it would be a bit of a half-assed video, especially for such a big week with lots of things to talk about. I didn't want to kind of like put half heart into it. So here we are today on Monday, and we're going to reflect on last week, the last week of November. Last week we sold in total 17 cards, which is pretty wild. Our biggest month so far since starting the business was October, selling 20 cards, and we almost hit that in a single week, which is just outrageous, honestly outrageous. And there may be some things that factor into why we sold so many cards last week, which we will kind of unpack over the episode. I'll get into the numbers of how much we made and what we sold in a little bit, but first I want to talk about what I've been doing this week. So this week I decided to finally get my hands dirty and get into short form content. So I started making TikToks and YouTube shorts and Instagram reels, and just trying to put one out there almost every day. I don't want to force it, but if I can find a good YouTube idea, if there's some news on Poke Beach, if there's something cool happening in the Pokemon card space, I just figured I'd make a video about it. I managed to make 5, so I was very happy with myself. There was one day in the middle, it might have been Thursday or something, where I didn't get one done, but there wasn't really too much to talk about that day, so I didn't want to force it, and I made another one the next day. So I was pretty happy with that. This channel's still small. There's only a few subscribers. We only get a few views on these videos each week, which is fine. But I thought, you know what, let's start promoting the brand. Let's start putting out some reels. Maybe we can get some people interested in what I have to offer. So I started making some like sort of news TikToks talking about some of the new card arts coming in Terastal Festival. Like last week, we got our first look at the Evolutions. We also got a look at the new SARs coming in Terastal Festival, the Raging Bolt, the Roaring Moon and stuff like that. So beautiful cards, and I wanted to showcase them through some TikToks. I also made a video about a CGC order that we got back last week, which I'll talk more about also shortly. That did pretty well. I think that got a couple hundred views across each platform. On Instagram, the first reel that I did got 1.2k views, which I was just shocked by because it must have got into the algorithm or something. I mean, it's not crazy numbers. It's not like everyone on earth saw it, but for me, my first reel, man, I was so shocked. I was joking with my friends that I was going viral. Obviously not, but it's just super exciting, super motivating to see that stuff. We got a couple likes out of it, we got a couple follows out of it, and each day that I post a new reel, my social medias expand. So maybe that's something we'll add to these videos, maybe not today just because I've got so much to talk about today, but we can do like a social media watch where we look at the followers I have and likes and stuff like that, and watch it grow week to week as I continue to make more content for these channels. So that might be an idea for the channel moving forward. We'll just do a quick little update each week. Anyway, I don't want to drag this video on too long. We just have so much to talk about. So that is probably the highlight of my week. And I don't know if it is true, but maybe that has something to do with how I had so many more sales, because I started posting, I think the first TikTok I posted was either on Monday morning or Tuesday morning. And that night I had 7 sales, and I was getting like lots of views on the videos. So that night I had 7 sales after posting my first TikTok. The next day I posted, I got 6 sales at that night. And then I think I had like 2 or 3 more over the next 4 days, equaling 17 sales total. So just, I don't know if it's related. Like you think about the 1.2k, that's not that many people. How many people are going to click on your profile, then also click on your eBay store and then buy something? I can't be certain. Just the fact that the two things happen at the same time just seems a little coincidental to me. So let's just see what happens. I'll keep posting them, see if I can keep consistent sales. We are going into the Christmas period. Maybe it has something to do with that. I guess we'll find out. My goal with these is I think I want to post one. I want to say every day, but that's going to be really tough. Probably not on the days that I do these long videos because they already take up a bit of time. But PokeNE said on a recent podcast I was watching while I was at the gym that when he first started, he was posting like multiple TikToks every day, just pumping out content. Something to do with there's so much content being made for Pokemon that even if you post 3 a day, it's not that likely that you're going to like flood someone's feed to the point where they're upset about it. They're thinking, man, this guy really needs to stop posting. He's all over my feed, because there's so many other people that could pop up on the feed. So that kind of like dug its way into my mind, and I think about that a fair bit now when I think about, is there too much content? Is posting every day too much? Probably not really. As I mentioned just before, we did get our CGC order back. Pretty exciting. It didn't quite go. I mentioned in the last video that it was like our big order and it was going to come back and be massive, and it didn't really go as expected. So the first card we got back was actually the 8.5 Crystal Guardians Charizard, the reverse holo with the stamp. Pretty exciting. I honestly, it's just weird to see a grade that high for a card that old. I think this is the first one I've got back that's kind of that old, and that sort of sought after. So that was really exciting. We got an 8 Typhlosion. A little bit disappointed about this one because I did think it was really clean. It does have a lot of print lines on it, admittedly, so that probably is what brought it down. But the edge wear there's no edge wear. Everything's clean on it. There's no scratches other than print lines from a printer. And it's just a gorgeous card. So I was really hoping for a 9. But we got the 8, and we got a 9 Meganium, which, yeah, gorgeous card. A couple little print lines, which I imagine is why it brought it down. Not as many as the Typhlosion, so I guess that's kind of where they draw the line. And then we got a Feraligatr. It came back as Authenticity Altered, or Altered Authenticity, however it is. But the reason is because I actually used, admittedly, Kurt's card care on the card. I wanted to try it. I saw some people talking about it. There was a bit of controversy about this product and whether or not it's morally correct to use it. I wanted to try it. It was actually before all this discussion happened. I saw it on my Instagram feed and stuff like that a fair bit. So I bought myself some and used it, and I guess I didn't do a good enough job because they were able to tell and they didn't grade the card. So I promise that is the last time I use that. I would never risk that ever again, because unfortunately, due to that not getting graded, we're probably only going to make like $60 after fees and stuff like that on these cards. So that's definitely the last time I use that. I will not be taking that risk again. Absolutely not. So yeah, we definitely learned some things from this CGC order. It wasn't as exciting as I was expecting it to be. At least we're not losing money, so that's a positive. So let's get into the cards that we sold this week. Starting off with some Galarian Galleries, some Trainer Galleries from the Sword and Shield sets, Crown Zenith and Silver Tempest. Most of these, I'll pop them up on the screen now, just a couple of them. I'm not sure if all of them, we'll see how long it takes to get through them, but most of these were $3 to $5. Nothing too expensive, but that's fine. We just like seeing sales. We hit our 100 sales this week, actually, in total on the store. So to think we did 17 this week and we hit 100 sales, I'm pretty stoked by that. And like 17, that's almost a fifth of the sales we've made. That's an awesome week. I still can't get over that. It's been keeping me on a high all week. In terms of PSA, we sold one PSA card, which was the first edition Dark Flareon in a PSA 7. I do love this card. I did have a PSA 7 Vaporeon and Jolteon as well, but they sold a while ago to the same person. And then this one, it was at $40, but sort of like Black Friday deal. I didn't do it on much, but just a couple of the PSAs that weren't moving, I went and put just like a $5 discount on them just to see if they would sell. And this one did, the others didn't, which is fine. They might still go. There's a couple days left on that. So only the one PSA sale this week. Moving into some of the bigger hitters, the ones that were more expensive, under $100, but we sold the Pikachu EX XY promo. This one typically goes for a bit more. I sold it for $70. Typically can go for a bit more, but this one's a little bit damaged. I had a bit of damage on the back, so I brought it down. It was definitely a moderately played card. And I also sold the 151 Zapdos EX. I talked about this one in last week's video. I posted it for $90 and said I wouldn't come down, but hey, I did. I ended up selling it for $85. There was a cheaper listing on eBay. It was the start of the week. I was keen to make a good sale. I sold the card for $85. That's just how it is. And then in terms of sort of like mid-range cards we sold, I sold the Switch Secret Rare from the Sun and Moon base set, as well as the Professor Kukui full art from, I think it's from base set or it's from Guardians Rising. One of those two. I think base set. I'm pretty sure base set. I sold that one for $12. I sold the Switch for $30. $286 in total over the week. So we're pretty happy with that, because considering we want to send off some more PSA orders It's probably around $800, a little bit more than $800 for a 30 card order. So we almost have enough to go into our next order, especially with last week. That's almost half of an order ready to go. I've got a heap more cards to post. I'm going to make a TikTok about that later. We got a heap of vintage cards that arrived in the mail. I didn't buy anything this week, but I did receive some mail. We got a heap of vintage cards. I bought a couple cards for my own set, on my own collection, just some cheap art rares and stuff like that. And yeah, that's about the week. It's been super exciting. I'm super motivated to keep going and keep pushing, keep making TikToks, keep making reels, keep making shorts, all of that stuff. You're gonna find a lot of Crabs collectibles on your feed in the future, I hope. But other than that, thank you for tuning in and have a great rest of your day. See ya.